You may recognize the next man up, but he's just out of the witness protection program. Please, no photography. Please welcome Mr. Rob Partridge.
Well, good evening. Here at the Act 2 Playhouse stand-up comedy class, we learned, well, one of the things we learned was the nuances of working the microphone in the stand. I mean, you might not realize it, but the second you come up here, you have to make a split-second decision whether you're going to leave this in or pull it out. I thought the Dirty Mind crowd would capture that one. I'm more of a kind of pull it out kind of guy, but tonight I'm going to leave it in. I want to tell you that, so don't be surprised when we get to that point. My name is Rob Partridge. And if I look familiar, yes, I was a young member of the Partridge Family TV series back in the early 70s. I was the only one that didn't get into legal trouble, so I think that's probably why I'm But I grew up in Westchester. I am part of a startup prescription dermatology company down in Wayne, not far from King of Prussia. But I've studied a lot of therapeutic areas, including weight control. In fact, there's a direct correlation between bad sleep habits, gaining weight, and even obesity. And I'm a medical problem solver, so I was watching TV and saw these images of rail-thin refugees in the Sudan, and I'm thinking, hey, just wake these little fuckers up every couple hours when they're trying to sleep at night.
Nice.
They'll pump up like turkeys, problem solved. Now that's the one you got. That's a sort of a twisted mind, you know. Does anybody in this audience smoke? Do we have any smokers?
Nice.
That's good you don't smoke. Smoking, and this is documented, smoking cigarettes, every cigarette you smoke, you will lose 2 hours off your life. But I did read that for every glass of red wine you drink, you will add 1 hour to your life. So here's your formula. For every cigarette you smoke, drink 3 glasses of wine, you'll live forever. Do the math, folks. Do the arithmetic. It's that simple. It really is. So, $10 a ticket? Is that what you paid tonight? Was $10 a ticket for this? I think we had 8 students in the class. That's $1.25 per comic.
Well worth it.
The last time you could see a live comedy show for that was back during Prohibition. And I cannot imagine watching Amateur Hour without a drink in my hand. Sorry. I promise to give you your $1.25 worth, okay? We will work hard on that. That's my commitment to you. Now, you may get a better understanding of my grasp on ethnicity if I tell you I'm half Italian on my mother's side. A lot of great memories growing up with that side of the family. In fact, you know, if you think Russians, French, and Irish can drink a lot, Italians can keep up with pretty much anybody. I saw jug after jug after jug of homemade Paisano wine disappear from the holiday tables. You know, and Italians can get loud and bossy and belligerent, and that's before they open that first bottle of wine when we were at these holiday get-togethers. But no, in all honesty, beautiful, modest Italian homes down in South Philly. It was the first time I ever saw wall-to-wall carpet. Well, I didn't really see the wall-to-wall carpet because in an Italian home, there were throw rugs over every inch of the wall-to-wall carpet to keep it from getting dirty. And if you remember, if any of you had this experience, when you walked in the door, it didn't matter, there were plastic runners going in every direction. So you didn't want to get throw rugs dirty that were protecting the wall-to-wall carpet. And it only got worse from there because you walk into the living room and every piece of furniture except the coffee table was covered in thick, clear plastic upholstery. The couch, the cushions, the pillows, the love seat, everything plastic, and you still weren't allowed to sit in the damn thing. I remember my great-grandma Thomasetti, bless her. I remember her saying, Robbie, go on, Isabella, don't go over there sitting with a grape juice, you're going to put it on the... I said, Belladonna, put what? I don't... Great-grandma, come on, you've been in this country 60 years, speak American. Well, I didn't really say that to her. I didn't want to embarrass her, but the truth is, you didn't want to sit in her chairs. I mean, she gave you good reasons, but if you were a little kid, you learned that she never turned on the air conditioner, So if you were there visiting in the summertime, you were wearing shorts and you were sitting on that plastic, you were sweating, it was only a matter of time before that sweat became like an industrial adhesive. You tried to get up, and they had to call the fire department to come pry you off the plastic, peel all the skin off the bottom of your leg. These were very modest Italian homes. I'm very proud of that part of my heritage. They were beautiful. I wonder where modesty began. I really have thought about this. I researched it. Where did modesty in human history begin to emerge? Well, I did some reading, and I went back 2.6 million years, actually, to the Aldubai Gorge in Africa, and Australopithecus. And you should be laughing at that just because I can say Australopithecus with no moisture in my mouth whatsoever. But Australopithecus, 4 feet, furry creatures, not particularly attractive by our standards. But when a female Australopithecus had to go to the bathroom, she just crouched and peed. That's what they did. The male didn't stop what he was doing to look because he did the same thing. I started to think, where in history did the first female who had to go to the bathroom suddenly turn to the male and say, hey, look the other way, pervert, I'm going to take a pee over here. And the male's like, somewhere that got ingrained. So I'm following the trail back forward. Well, I stopped at Stonehenge. You're familiar with Stonehenge? Built 10,000 years ago. They still don't really know why it was built. They don't know how it was built. This is another big question, but I think I figured out the why. I think Stonehenge was the first public restroom in England. I think a guy named Nigel, who was afraid to pee in front of other men, stage fright, we all get it. I think Nigel convinced the entire community. He had this design, and he has them pulling huge slabs of rock up hills and over rocks and all kinds of, they had the logs that they used to roll these things, and finally these people are like, Nigel, why the hell are we doing all this? And he's like, well, it's the stars, and it's the moon, and it's seasons, and all. But really, it was because when it was done, Nigel ran behind one of those big slabs and took the first comfortable piss of his life. That's Stonehenge. I think if they did soil samples around the base,
That's funny.
but modesty, it's important. I think about today's workplace if we didn't have modesty. The first thing I envision are 6 young sales guys who are bopping up and down all day, looking over the walls of their cubicle, like little prairie dogs, because this hot woman, Stormy, they just hired in accounting, she stops and drops her panties and pees here every so often. That is a show they're not going to miss. Productivity grinds to a halt. Now, of course, HR is going to have to deal with this because, you're going to have the problem employee. The woman who goes and pees in the employee lounge just to get attention. Everybody has that problem. I started to think, who wouldn't we be bothered by if they happen to pee in the hallway? Who wouldn't we chastise? I thought about Betty White. I thought, who's going to stop Betty White? Not the old Betty, I'm talking about the hot 1950s Betty White, if anybody would say anything to her. But, I should tell you, I guess, that I see the world through 2 lenses. I actually earned 2 degrees. I have a BS in Business Administration and Marketing. And I got that primarily because I thought that was the fastest path to a career in comedy. Well, here I am 30 years later. Who's laughing now? But I also, because I love the material, I got a BA in Political Science, International Politics. And I have to tell you, when I'm making presentations and people find out that I have a political science degree, I can see my esteem rising in their eyes. Because they associate me with today's intelligent, mature political discourse going on in this country. It really benefits me. I always appreciate the response I get from folks. I heard the last comment, are you sick of Donald Trump yet? I mean, on the whole, are you sick of Donald Trump? Yeah. Because I was going to be certain you weren't getting out of here without hearing at least one good Donald Trump joke. So, well, I'll tell you something. I have some information, never before known, never before publicized, information that could actually sink Trump's campaign. It could stop his entire candidacy in its tracks. But you know what? I'm going to have somebody share that with you, somebody who knows firsthand what he's talking about. Very special guest. Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is good to be here with you this evening. Now, maybe some of you saw me in Philadelphia over the last few days. I had to deal with some hecklers. You know, I don't mind protesters. I like protesters. When you hear a protester won't let you answer a question, that means they don't want to hear the truth. Now, what's your name, young lady? What's your first name? Olivia. Olivia. Well, you make my knees knock, Olivia. I would like to take you back to the Oval Office. Not Olivia, I mean the whole audience. Back to the White House days. Now, there's something you need to know. Donald Trump was a good friend of mine. In fact, when Hillary would travel, he would come down and visit me from time to time. We had a great time together. But there's something else you need to know. And that is, I was not lying when I said to the American people, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. One particular weekend, Donald Trump flew his helicopter down from New York City, and he landed on the South Lawn back next to Marine One. He was so proud. The guy has an ego. Anyway, we had a wonderful time that Saturday. But what I have to tell you is, well, you remember the blue dress? Well, that was not me they found on that blue dress. Are you following what I'm saying? I took a bullet for my good friend Donald Trump. I was impeached for it. And can you believe the way he treats Hillary and me today? So I'm here tonight to ask you on Tuesday, April 26th, in the Pennsylvania primary, please cast your vote in favor of Hillary Rodham Clinton for president. Thank you. May God bless the United States of America, and good night.